Welcome back. It is another segment of Flow with Tarot. All right. And so I'm sitting here and I am officially beginning my celebration from my 49th year here. Okay. Here on this planet, in this physical body, living this life. Okay. And so we are in the middle of new moon, spring solstice, the official beginning of a new year. Okay. And so there's a lot of new energy. Okay. Energy of emerging and energy of expansion. And if you have never connected with that energy, if you've never been intentional about connecting with that newness and that elevation, that emerging energy, consider it this time. Even if you make the spring solstice a part of your ritual, say, for example, you typically light candles for yourself. You have a specific working that you do during this time. Ask yourself, how can I expand on this ritual? How can this look new? How can this be different? How can I do this in an elevated way? Not that what you're doing before was incorrect or bad, but this is an emerging energy. It's a new energy. It is an energy of elevation and expansion. And so just ask yourself, what can I add to this ritual? What can I take away? How can I create another ritual for myself that is going to hold the capacity for my own emerging? All right. So I just wanted to give you that. I want to drop you that little tip. Ask yourself that question. What can I do? What have I been doing right now up to this point? And how can I expand on what I have been doing? How can I do it in a different way? How can I do it in a way that is going to support my expansion? Okay. All right. So let's pull a card. And so, again, if you are new here, welcome. All right. This segment that I'm doing, it is simply a way I'm taking you through this method that I have of how I like to connect with tarot cards. Okay. And so it's not a reading per se. However, if you get something from it, if you get something from my interpretation of whatever card we pull at the time, then apply it. See how you can apply it to this new moon. See how you can apply it to the summer solstice energy. Okay. And use it in a way that's going to benefit you, of course, because I'm going to always say this. I know you're probably saying, okay, Tamara, get to the card pull, but I feel like I need to say this. Your spiritual practices, they should be so effective where as you integrate those practices into your daily life, you should be benefiting from them. You should be able to see results, positive results, okay? And if you're not, it's time to switch up something. It's time to do something different. Okay? All right, so let's go. So I'll just pull from the bottom. What's on the bottom? Oh, okay. So the Three of Cups was just on the bottom. All right. And again, this is not a reading. We're just saying what comes up for the card at the time. So, with the Three of Cups, one of the things that I like to do, and I'm even flexible in this, but I like to consider the power of the number of the card. And we know that, three is a multiple of six. First of all, three is a multiple of six protons, six neutrons, six electrons. All right. There is power in six. which is why 666 has been demonized and just dragged through the mud, all right, because people don't understand that there's power in that expression, all right. Maybe I'll talk about that in another video. If you want me to do that, leave me a comment, all right. So we have that power there, as 3 being a multiple of 6. 3 is also a multiple of 9. 9 represents swift change. Swift change. We know every day we're changing. Sometimes the change is slow and sometimes the change is quantum. Sometimes it's a requirement for your change for you to experience to be quantum, to be fast. All right. Change doesn't always have to be slow. And also, change doesn't always have to come with unwanted experiences either, because we've been programmed to think that the minute we hear change, that we get nervous, we get scared because we're moving into the unknown. But that many times is not the case. All right. Change, we need to program ourselves and our cells to look at change and equate that to prosperity. We need to program ourselves and ourselves to program change to equal abundance of good and perfect. Change equals perfect health. Change equals total health and wellness. Change equals increased lucrative opportunities that are aligned with your soul. That's how we need to reframe change. And here's another tip that just came up for the new moon and the spring solstice that you can do for yourself. Just light a white can actually light a gold candle, okay? Or find a gold object, all right? Hold it in your hand and write an intention. As you're holding this gold object in your hand, write an intention where you are commanding your cells to start to reframe change as working for you, to start to reframe change to equate to a celebration. Okay? Do that. Do that for yourself. All right. And also, if you want me to give you an example of an invocation that you can do for yourself, leave that for me in the comment and I will put an invocation for you to do for yourself for the spring solstice, for the new moon, for a new day, for a new week, for a new month. Okay. And I will put that in the comments for you. So let me know if you would like that. So anyway, 3 of Cups. 3. 3 is a multiple of 6. 3 is a multiple of 9, which means swift change. And now we're looking at change as a good thing, which means we can celebrate that, which means we can celebrate ourselves. Yes, we see 3 people. Okay, for you to be able to celebrate with other people is a beautiful thing. But even if you don't have other people readily around you, perhaps it's time to change your environment, physically move. Perhaps it's time to change your city. Perhaps it's time to change your country. Perhaps it's time to change really where you live. Perhaps it's time to change business. Perhaps it's time to change business partners. Perhaps it's time to change where you work. If you're working for a company, maybe it's time for you to change your environment. Oftentimes, we look at our, what we would call our circles and our communities, and we say, well, even though there's this community here that I have around me, even though I have family around me, I still feel like I don't have people that I can celebrate with. And then you look to those people as if it's their fault. No, you can change your physical environment. You have the power to do that so that you can set yourself in spaces, in places, in environments where you will be introduced to people that you can trust, They trust you. You have a mutual trust. They become good friends of yours. They perhaps may become like your family, and these will become people that you can celebrate with. But you have to be open to change you and to change your environment for that to happen. Okay. So, yes, we have this celebration happening here. Also, what we can do is also look at this card. Yes, there's more than one person. Perhaps the other two people represent aspects of yourself that you are now allowing to be expressed. Maybe there's an aspect of you that is very commanding in nature. Perhaps all your life you've been called bossy, and that's because it was programmed for you for that to be a negative aspect of you. You put that on the shelf and you allowed yourself to sit in the background when really you're the one who needs to be up in the front. You're the leader, you're the teacher, you're the guide. Okay? You're the mentor. All right, maybe it's time that you, with this change up in the air, maybe it's time for you to use the energy of that change to say, you know what? I am embracing this aspect of me that I was programmed to believe was negative. Maybe one of these figures represents that aspect. Maybe there is an aspect of you that knows how to use her sensuality and her sexiness to get what she wants. And you have been told, well, if you do that, you're going to be looked at as a hoe. You put that on the shelf because you were programmed to believe that that was a negative aspect. But now you're like, no, I am feminine. I am a woman. I celebrate my breasts. I celebrate my hips. I celebrate my ass. I celebrate my thighs. Okay. I celebrate that I love to wear tight dresses. And now you are celebrating. You're allowing those aspects to come through. And this is a celebration for you now. That is perhaps that's the change that you need to celebrate, that you are now embracing all of you. So, yeah, that's the Three of Cups. That's what I think about this card right now. All right, so let me know what your thoughts were about the Three of Cups. And let's keep going. And I believe this is the 22nd card that we've done. So we just have a few more cards to go, but we're going through this entire deck. So I appreciate all of you for being here. I appreciate the new subscribers that have come through. All right. So let's just keep going. If you have any questions about tarot, leave them for me in the comments. All right. Until next time, stay in your magic. All right. Stay in your magic. Yeah.